Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 11th Frames of Shame show. Sorry for the couple-minute delay. We had some technical difficulties.
Ashton had some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
My headphones all of a sudden wanted to stop working, so we had to get that figured out. Now on my phone, I was gonna poke some fun at Tim Wiseman, but that's all gone now. So
I mean, you can still poke fun regardless. We always love to make fun of Tim.
yeah, Tim
You
sucks.
want to roll the tape, Christian, or
This early? I mean,
yeah, I think we have to show.
I think he deserves it.
yeah, there we go. That's a good hit right there.
Let's poke some fun at Mr. Tim.
All right, well, yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
As you guys may have seen, we have a very special guest today. Very special. We've had this planned for, believe it or not, like over a month now.
Yeah, we actually planned ahead.
Unlike all our other podcasts, it's been in the works for a while, so it's finally here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, so I'm sure folks have seen we're gonna have a very special guest here today. We're gonna be talking about starting in YBC, and believe it or not, going all the way to the PBA, and not starting in YBC with 10 pin, but starting in YBC with 5 pin. But before we get to that, do we want to do a little catch up on anything that's happened over the past little while? I know August has been crazy.
I just want to put this out there. I mean, obviously we don't know who won tour finals quite yet, but I mean, for my club tour prediction, Colton Yuzwa, I mean, that was a lock, you know?
Exactly.
That's a very good prediction.
Yeah, great job, Christian.
I forget who I predicted.
What did ChatGPT predict Kerry for club tour or for tour finals? Was it tour finals?
Yeah, tour finals.
Oh yeah, because we didn't do. Oh yeah, sorry, that was just for like club tour finals, not club tour. Well, I mean, Kerry did win something. He did win club tour. Huge congrats to him. It's crazy watching him all day. It was just like totally like locked and loaded, ready to go. Just like throwing these great like huge shots the entire day. Just totally
he was
locked in. Yeah, just okay.
Yeah,
you weren't there. I was, filming everything. And then obviously more exciting is coming up is the Beef Bowl, not this weekend, but the weekend after. Really excited to head down to Medicine Hat for that. Bull Bakers, Bull of Shift.
Mooligans,
which is so much fun. I have really exciting shirts. I'm so excited to be able to see them. Me with my Bakers team. But yeah, anything else you guys want to touch base on before we bring our special guest in here?
Nothing, but I guess stay tuned for the final or WCBT matches that will hopefully be up soon on YouTube. I don't know what the timeline is on that, but
what do you mean you don't know the timeline for this?
When the matches will be uploaded.
I'm probably the one. I'm probably the one who should know this.
Yeah,
when I'm on board now.
You're on the board.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. You're now on the
WCBT. You don't even know.
No, I don't know. I was elected like 3 weeks ago. I'm still getting figuring things out. It's been really fun.
Things in the works for this season.
Yeah, lots of good things in the work. Going to be really excited to share some more stuff with people at Beef Bowl and have some more conversations about some of the big moves that we're making with regards to sponsorship and some of those changes that we're looking to implement going forward. But with that, we'll segue into our special guest. Who is in a very special location right now. Can maybe give us some game time updates as we go. But we have Mr. Zach Wilkins, PBA professional, joining us here today to chat about his YBC experience and his current job experience bowling professionally in 10 pin.
Let's go.
Hello,
no transition
Zach.
or anything, just straight in here.
Oh, straight in. Sorry,
everyone. How are you guys?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to give everyone watching this podcast a view of what I'm seeing. All right. So we're at the Royals baseball game right now. We're in the middle of a pitching change, so it's like it's almost like perfect timing.
That's awesome.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Sorry we had to distract you from the game.
Oh no, this is perfect. I figured like I knew I had the podcast, and then I still scheduled a baseball game, and I was like, how cool would it be to do a podcast while at a baseball game? Like,
this is the first ever.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it could be the first podcast ever at a baseball game.
This is true.
Yeah,
first ever bowling podcast at a baseball game.
Yeah,
there we go.
Exactly.
Even more niche. Yeah. Yeah. definitely. So Zach, just to start things off, I mean, folks might know you as, you know, a 10-pin PBA professional, but lots
Yeah.
of people might just assume that you bowled 10-pin for your entire life, like growing up in Canada, even though, you know, we have our own special version of bowling, 5-pin. Do you want to talk a little bit about your early years starting out in 5-pin and what sort of that looked like?
Yeah, of course. It kind of started at a very early age. My parents both worked in a bowling alley. I would, obviously, like all of us kids growing up, getting introduced to the game of bowling, we roll that plastic little bowling ball down the hallway with those plastic pins. Um, but then it kind of slowly progressed into going into work with my dad. So my dad, he was one of the managers at one of the bowling centers in Toronto. Can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but I would go every day with him and I would just bowl every day. So I was kind of fortunate enough to have that luxury. And, I took a very big interest in loving the game. And I think by the time I could walk, like I said, hey, I want to be a professional bowler. And I mean, little did I know that, 5-pin was just strictly Canadian, but there was still a lot of um, big tournaments. Oh, what a fun. Sorry. I'm giving you game by game updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew there was some big tournaments in Canada for 5-pin, but ultimately, I did want to, I didn't realize I had to switch over. Um, but yeah, growing up, just bowled the YBC league, bowled the provincials. That's I can't really remember all the tournaments that I bowled, but I'd quite the resume, in 5-pin, and I think I had a couple of records at one point. They've probably since been broken. Just, I mean, because it's been forever ago. So, but
Tyler
most
Kit
people.
Kat.
Oh, did he? Nice, attaboy.
I don't know. Probably though.
Yeah, for people that don't know, the records that I do remember that I had, it was the high single in the Pee Wee division with the 315, and then I think I had the high triple with 765 when I was a Pee Wee.
Gosh.
So like, I mean, if
That's
there's any
unreal.
10-pin bowlers watching, Pee Wee category I believe was ages 5 to 6. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think it may have changed, but I know it's like before Bantam, so I think 5 to 6 sounds.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it was basically like you're in diapers.
You're an infant, essentially. Yeah.
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 So just, kind of having that success, and then, growing up, like not many people saw the style that I bowled with in 5-pin, and that
Yeah.
I threw a two-handed backup ball.
Yeah.
Um,
A backup ball, two-handed.
Yes,
Okay, very
yes.
interesting.
Yeah, so that is kind of, segued into bowling 10-pin, and now I'm sure you can just see that two-handed has kind of taken over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to catch on here as well in 5-pin. More
Really?
and more. We're
That's
seeing a lot of youth bowlers coming up bowling two-handed, and they're doing really well. So
Yeah.
that's kind of impressive.
yeah,
we had
it's
one guy
definitely
out
way
of
more awkward to throw a two-handed with the 5-pin ball than the 10-pin ball. I've tried it. I can't do it. It's
Yeah.
bad.
our next challenge video. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
younger guy out of Newfoundland, Cody Jacobs, who was at U Challenge Nationals this year, here in
Mhm.
Calgary, and made the All-Star team. Averaged, I think, like 245 or so, and bowled two-handed, which was really
job.
awesome to see. And
Yeah.
was there, and
That's
like
incredible.
you don't expect to see a two-hander in 5-pin, so like showing up there and watching them play and being like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah,
was
exactly.
really
Yeah,
interesting.
almost all the eyes are on you at that point, and
Yeah.
you try not to do anything wrong or like get more reasons to have eyes on you at that
Yeah.
point.
So how did you like start bowling two-handed? Like, why was that the way that you chose to throw the ball?
I honestly think it was just kind of starting, everyone starts with the, between the legs, kind of the grandma throw or whatever they want to call it. And then, I'm not very tall. Like when I was that young, I didn't really grow very fast like the other kids. So the ball kind of felt pretty large in my hand, and just messing around every day at my dad's farm. I think I just decided to try two-handed bowling just in a unique way, and it felt comfortable. And if you look at the rules or you ask about the rules if this is all right to do, and then obviously there's no rule on it, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to bowl the way I feel is comfortable. And then there were a lot of people, like I remember, growing up that tried to not make it a thing, but ultimately you're still throwing a bowling ball down a lane, and I mean there's no reason why you can't have another hand. But
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I did a little bit of digging, and I found
boy, here we go.
your results from YBC provincials in 2003.
holy cow!
So you
2003?
were a bantam boy.
Okay, how many games was it?
It was 5
kinda
games.
want-
So
I kind of want to guess my score.
yeah,
Ooh.
I want to. That's what we're gonna do. Let's see. Like, how do you think you did?
Okay, bantam. If I was bantam, 2003, that would have put me at age 10 to 11. I was probably averaging well over 200 at that point in life, I think. I don't know. Oh, gosh. So 5 games. I'm going to say I shot like 11-20.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're kind of way off. not
Yeah.
crazy
Okay.
way off. But I mean,
it's so hard to
You were
think about.
right
like-
Yeah, you're
with
like-
the 200 average part.
200
Okay.
average though. Like quite literally, you averaged 200 for 5 games. You threw
Nice.
1,000.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty good at that age. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the big thing is, and when I found these results, I shared them with the guys, and we're like, the guy who won really tried to lose it in the last game because he threw a $140, and you
Oh.
threw 266.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Do you want to
Yeah.
pull these up on the screen here? I can.
Can
I want to
can
say
you
like
do
my
that?
biggest rival back then. I don't know. I might get the name wrong. I don't know, but it might have been like his name might have been like Connor or something. I can't remember. But
It'd be really funny if like
yeah,
they
that'd be
reach out to us
hilarious
and
if it were.
they're like, hey, yeah.
I
So
don't
there's
remember any of these names.
you got
I
to
gotta
zoom in,
zoom.
Christian.
I
Yeah, I
gotta
was like, we
zoom in on
cannot
that.
see.
All right.
Oh,
Can we?
okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
unless there's another.
I'm on a tiny phone. I can't see anything.
So then,
you can zoom in on your phone.
would Springwater Lanes have been like your parents'
I can
center
pull it
then?
from there.
No, that was so we were living in Barrie at that point.
Oh,
I
Mhm.
think my dad would commute to Toronto to work in that bowling alley, which I can't remember. But Elmville, so Springwater Lanes was where we would bowl YUC every Saturday night.
Yeah. So does this name sound familiar to you, Connor Dorian?
Yeah,
or
that's
Connor
exactly who I was thinking of.
Ooh.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Sly, for that
Sly knows.
deep cut. Yeah, Sly
Yeah,
does know.
I'm not
What a
entirely sure if he's still bowling anymore, but I do remember Connor Dorian being like one of the biggest competitors when I was bowling 5. But
That's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like the folks that we remember from when we were younger bowling, like YBC, U Challenge, all those things that may have disappeared or are still putzing around, just not competing at the same level. They're just bowling in a fun little league. Life happens and things get busy.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
apparently Connor is still a machine, even after taking a few years off recently.
Yeah,
According
that
to
doesn't
Mr. John
surprise me.
Cowan.
That he was a force to be reckoned with back then. So I'm sure it's taking a couple of years off. I'm sure you had some kind of rush, but when you're kind of that good, it's almost like riding a bicycle. You just gotta get the training wheels off again and away you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I was like, I'm one to talk. I took 5 years off and I'm back again. So like, it's fine. Not that I'm at the same level, but like, it is
Okay.
something you can come back to. It is kind of like, riding a bike to some extent.
Did life just get in the way, or you just didn't
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
anymore?
No, busy with school and then,
Wow,
done
okay,
school and then now going back to school. So it's like, I'm still gonna bowl. Like,
you're
I'm gonna
just
bowl more than
you
ever.
just like the torture.
Yeah, clearly, that's why I'm doing all these bowling things that I do, which is, so great. So you talked about the fact that like obviously you were bowling two-handed with 5-pin.
Mhm.
Then when you made the like switch to 10-pin, did you just like immediately say like I'm still going to throw two-handed? I mean, it was starting to become more popular then, right? Or was more popularized, but
No,
you used to
no,
throw a backup ball. So
no. So
I don't
that's
know.
the
What did
thing.
that
So
look
when
like?
yeah, so when I took, when I decided like or realized that 10 pin bowling was really the only way to kind of make a honest living bowling. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not saying like the prize fund should have gotten a lot better in 5 pin. I have no idea. I haven't been around the scene for a while, so but 10 pin was like the big thing, and like you saw it on TV every Sunday, and you would
Hmm.
see these guys, hook these bowling balls. And, oh, this is pretty sweet. So when I decided to make the switch, obviously you got to do some digging and some research on the rules, and it's a completely different game of bowling. I noticed they had like the finger and the thumb all drilled, and I was like, holy cow, like I gotta hold on to the ball now. Like this is weird. Um
I
so
want
I
to go
just
back for sorry.
yeah,
I
go
want to go
ahead.
back for a second. When you were doing 5-pin that young, did you play any 10-pin at all, or did you first start 10-pin bowling right when you were done 5-pin?
No, I it was just strictly 5, but I had no idea what 10 pin
Okay.
was until I got into my like early teens, and then I started seeing it more on TV, and learning the different types of bowling, and I was like, whoa, there's some serious money in this. And you do some more research and realize how much these guys are making. You're like, dang, I want to do this for a living.
Yeah, for
um,
sure. Did
so
did a lot of the 5-pin skills that you learned translate good over to 10-pin?
for a while the spare shooting was really good, because in 5 pin you got to be pretty accurate, because the lane
Yeah.
is the lane has no oil. So in 10 pin we have um, oil on the lane. So, and the oil can be a different viscosity. It can be a different length. It can be a different ratio of how hard it can be. And you can put different um, oil on different boards. So, like, there's so many variables that come with 10 pin. And that's just one of them is the oil. Then you got the lane and the bowling balls. And like, I could go on and on and on and on about it. But that'd probably bore a lot of people. But um to get back into switching over, I took a year off just to do some research to understand the game of 10 pin bowling. And the first year that I did it, I did bowl one-handed, because I noticed everyone had their finger and their thumb in the bowling ball, so I was like, well, I guess two-handed bowling is dead now. So after a while, like I did it for a year, and then I just couldn't hold on to the bowling ball anymore. It just was too heavy, because you go from a 5 pin bowling ball to a 10 pin bowling ball, which varies from 6 pounds all the way up to 16. And most of the better bowlers or whatnot, they throw a 15-pound bowling. So
Mhm.
that was a lot of strain on my arm. So I decided to look in the rules like I did 5 pin bowling, and see if there was limitations on just using two hands and the button. And that's kind of how I just kind of bowled the way I did with 5 pin, except for, I didn't throw it back up, because not many people do that in the sport of
Yeah.
10 pin. You kind of hook it from your side of the lane. If you're a righty, you hook it from the right side. If you're a lefty, you hook it on the left side. Awesome. So I had to kind of learn all of that stuff. And that was probably the biggest learning curve is, there's so many different bowling balls that do different things and have different hook potentials. Then you add all the oil into it, and then how you drill those bowling balls. So it's a little more complex than 5 pin, but I do appreciate both games, and I think they have similarity to both. And with 5 pin and how accurate you had to be, I really used that to my advantage when I switched to 10 pin, because I already knew the lane was still the same width and same length. So it's just, my accuracy was already good right from the get-go because 5-pin kind of taught me like, hey, you can't miss.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started in 10-pin with this, kind of similar to 5-pin, just researching the rules because, I just like to be the unique one for some reason.
So you talk about obviously like there's so many different options for like bowling balls and stuff with 10 pin. Did you have a favorite type of like 5-pin bowling ball, or do you remember like what you threw when you were playing 5-pin?
Oh yeah. These bad boys were awesome. They were the clear Canadian flag balls.
Oh my
They
gosh,
The
that is
clear
a
ones. Oh my
throwback.
Yeah, they were amazing. And then my dad had this one it was a Ninja, and
Oh, ninjas are great. Yeah.
for whatever reason, it just felt a little heavier, so I could get that like thick hit more often than punching the head pin. So if like the Canadian balls weren't doing the trick, I'd put them in timeout, and then I'd grab that Ninja ball, and it's just all like a confidence thing. Like you feel a little bit more confident
Yeah.
throwing this ball, right?
Yeah. No,
cool hearing
it's
a
really
PBA bowler
interesting.
use 5-pin terms.
Pardon?
It's cool hearing a PBA bowler use 5-pin terms.
Yeah, you probably I might be one of the few that have done like both kind of very competitively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because like there's some Canadian bowlers that bowl on tour, like Mitch, Frankie,
Yeah.
Graham, my roommate Nathan. But I don't think they might have started in 5-pin for like a brief period. But I don't think they did it as competitively as I did.
Yeah, it's really funny because I always get roasted because like I watch like quite a bit of 10 pin, and I like called the gutter the channel like one day on stream, and I got roasted. People are like, Maria, this is not 10 pin. I'm like, I'm sorry guys. Like I know the difference, I promise, but sometimes it's just funny to throw in the wrong
No,
term for things.
Yeah, because there's so much different slang now in 10-pin that would probably make zero sense in 5-pin.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt it. I think across any of the disciplines, like even you think about duck pin or candle pin,
Oh, yeah.
there's so many differences. So
Boxes
speaking of the
and
other
candle pins.
disciplines, yeah, thinking about the other different types of bowling. Have you ever like played duck pin in Canada, American duck pin, candle pin? Have you ever had a chance to dabble in those other types as well?
Honestly, I have not. I kind of wish I have. I for whatever reason I might have when I was a kid. I just don't remember it. But from what I can remember, I've never played any of them. I personally would love to try Candlepin because the
so
deadwood
fun.
stays there. Yeah, the deadwood
Yeah.
stays there. You kind of chuck it hard at fins, and you really could only hit like 2 of them at one time. Like they're just so. Like I don't even know how light the pins are, but they look like the ball deflects immediately.
The
And
Oh,
then
the
ball
balls
pins
are
are the same
tiny.
weight.
They're tiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what are they compared to a 5-pin ball? Like what's the weight
They're
difference?
5-pin
in
size, but lighter, I think, right?
No, they're not
Yeah,
even 5-pin
they're
size. They're a lot
smaller than
smaller,
5-pin.
and they're
Is
lighter.
it,
Yeah.
is the Candlepin
We
ball
play-
the one we threw in the video? or
Yeah,
is
the
I
one
thought
we
that
threw
was
in the
bigger,
video.
but lighter.
No, it's smaller and lighter.
Yeah, smaller and lighter. Duck pin balls are the exact same as a 5-pin ball, at least
Yeah.
for hard
Oh,
belly. Actually, and for
Okay.
soft belly as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of fun. There's all those different types of
Yeah, it'd
bowling
be
and
something I
disciplines.
would love to try. Just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's in the area that I'm in Kansas City, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of like if you're like on the East Coast, like at a tour event, you're not going to be like, "Hey guys, peace out. I'm actually just going to go try and bowl duck pin in the middle of a tournament weekend or something, just for fun."
I know some of the pros have done it, like when we've been on the East Coast,
Yeah.
and they've like appreciated how much different it really is compared to bowling 10-pin.
Yeah, for sure. There's differences, but there's also like so many similarities in some ways, definitely across.
Dang, we got a
the
mid-game
disciplines.
update here, guys. It's now
perfect.
3-2. 3-2 for the Angels. I've missed us losing the lead. I don't know what
Oh
happened.
shoot! Just yapping too much about bowling.
That's okay.
Way more,
That's okay.
way
That's what
more
we're here-
important.
That's what we're here for, right?
All right.
Yeah.
I guess we probably should have started off with this, but for people who may not know you, let's hear about some of your PBA accomplishments or just 10-pin bowling accomplishments in general.
Geez. Wow.
An itemized list, please. No.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go with like the first one that really pops into my mind, and that's probably finally making Team Canada for the first time. I mean, it's a pretty cool experience of like, dang, I get to bowl for my country. So, I've never really experienced that before, and then being able to travel overseas and have the red, it's the maple leaf on you, and I mean, and some of the accolades I have with Team Canada are, there's some records that I have and multiple gold medals. So like that by far will always um, be up top, just because you get to stand on the podium and then you get to hear your national anthem with the flag wrapped around you. It's like, it's almost like Olympics level type of deal. So you just kind of soak in that moment and just never really forget it. Um,
That's
There's,
awesome.
yeah, some other accomplishments. I've made TV handful of times now on the tour. Unfortunately, haven't been able to break out with a win. I think my best finish is third. I do have a PBA regional now. A bunch of handful of big amateur tournaments, and then probably one of the coolest records. It was non-sanctioned, but no one is ever going to really take it away from me. Is for 5 games across different pairs, I bowled 1455. So I averaged 291 for 5 games.
Gosh.
Jesus
And
Christ, that's insane.
and for people that don't know 10 pin, the max score you can get is 300. So yeah, I only missed. I think 4 times throughout the entire 5 games. So,
On fire.
unfortunately, they didn't sanction the tournament. But like, I mean, the lane's still the same. The bowling ball you're throwing doesn't change. I mean, no other variables change. It just wasn't sanctioned. So
Did you win
to-
that tournament?
Unfortunately, not.
Really?
No. So this is this. So some tournaments, you'll do your qualifying. So I did that
Oh,
during
yeah.
qualifying, and then after they'll go like head to head match play, and then I ended up losing in the finals. I can't really remember the score, but I mean overall it was a pretty cool day, and no one in the world can say they have a higher 5 games than me. So it's pretty cool.
I was
It's
gonna
pretty cool to
say, you feel pretty jazzed like with that qualifying score. So you're like, I don't really care what happens after. It's like I'd like to win, but also like that's a pretty cool experience that not a lot of people can say
No,
that they've done or
exactly. So like everyone kind of has their own ball driller. So like everyone, pro shops, operators. So after I did that, I wrote down all the scores on that bowling ball, signed it, and then gave it to the pro shop operator to put in display in his case to
cool.
say, hey,
That's
you
awesome.
drilled this, and like you're a ball driller of a crazy kind of record. So
that's insane. That's crazy.
yeah, I'm not really sure what other accolades there are. I mean, yeah, handful of tournament wins. I mean, the PBA stuff, like handful of televised events. I wish I did. Can we hear the crowd going?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, okay. That means my
so-
headphones are doing a good job.
Yeah, they're blocking out everything.
Shout
Okay.
out to AirPods, not sponsored, but shout out.
Yeah,
Who's
Ashton, what
sponsored?
happened to yours?
Yeah, what are
I don't know. Yeah, he's just disappeared. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently he's here, but who knows? I was gonna
So-
ask- I had a question in my head. Now it's gone.
I'll go then. So would you say that like you're one of like the two-handed OGs, like kind of before it blew up?
I would like to say yes, because I like when I was bowling, there was really only one other two-hander in Canada that I knew of bowling 10 pin. His name was Matt Lewis, and he was very good. He obviously doesn't bowl tour; he's got a full-time job, but he's still really good. I would like to say I'm one of the first. The most successful one, obviously, is Jason Belmonte, because he broke out on a machine and then started going the tour, and then just started obliterating. Like we just couldn't touch him. So two-handed wasn't a super big thing. Like there were some bowlers that did it, but no one really did it at that level. And then when he started really winning, and it kind of changed the entire game. Very. So now you see, I mean, for every one-hander, there's probably 4 or 5 two-handers now. Like, I do a lot of coaching now in Kansas City, and if they're a brand new bowler, I'm probably introducing them to being a two-hander instead of regular traditional.
Wow.
So that's how big two-handed bowling has got. It's just changed the game forever.
Yeah, completely.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Hey,
you're
welcome
good.
back.
My phone has a really old battery, and I was charging it while I was using it, so I think it overheated. But I'm on my iPad now, so
Yeah.
You're back?
this is
You're
the
0
third
for
device
2 with
this screen.
technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I
Yeah.
have this here, but yeah, we're good now.
You're
good
back. You're back again. That's
Yeah.
good.
Perfect.
We were just talking about being a two-handed OG in Canada and 5-pin, and then obviously Belmo is one of the big names
Oh,
that
yeah.
we all know about for sort of exploding onto the scene and popularizing two-handed bowling. When I was like bowling some 10-pin, I was dabbling in 10-pin in like February this past year.
Mhm.
I was like, I should just try and bowl two-handed because I feel like it won't impact my 5-pin game. Oh my god, it was so hard, and I was like, I'm gonna take 2 steps because I feel like this is gonna be like the simplest for me.
Yeah.
And it was just like it was so bad, and I was so inconsistent, and I was so frustrated.
Yeah,
like, I'm
it's
just gonna try
definitely a
one-handed.
different style of bowling, and the way of
Yeah.
teaching it's a little bit different than one-handed. But everyone nowadays, there's a lot of there's some pro bowlers that are even flipping from one-handed
Yep.
to two-handed. Like Jeremy King, he's a big guy on his YouTube guy, and he has
Yeah.
since flipped from one-handed to two-handed because the two-handers just create a little bit more rev rate. So like we put more spin on the ball, we throw a little bit more power and speed, which then makes the pins kind of fly everywhere. And being one-handed, you're kind of limited to what you can do unless your name's EJ Tackett, which he's the best player on the planet right now for 10-pin.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of revolutionized the game, two-handed bowling. I'd like to consider myself as being one of the OGs. I might have not had the accolades to start, but I was definitely one of the first that definitely threw at that style.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So circling back to some of your accolades and bowling for Team Canada and stuff. Obviously, like there's Canadian trials and stuff every year. Like I don't know if there's exemptions for that and stuff. So do you get to come back to Canada and compete in 10-pin like every year, or what does that sort of look like for you? Do you ever get to play in your home country?
Yeah, so team trials happens once a year. It's usually the first week of January. So last year it was in Montreal, so I was able to go back. The previous years I was unable to because of the limitations on my visa. So being in the United States, I had to get an athlete visa. And when you submit or file for said visa, once it's in limbo or waiting for it to be accepted, you can't leave the country. So I was kind of stuck
Oh.
in America for roughly 2.5 years without being able to travel outside of this country. So
Wow.
once it finally got accepted, I went to Montreal, bowled team trials back in January, ended up finishing third, which the top 6 qualify for the team. And then this year, I believe it is in
It's in Windsor, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I will
I don't know
not
why
be-
do I know this? I don't know.
You just like to do your research. That's nothing
Clearly,
wrong
yeah.
with that. I will not be at that one, only because at the end of this year, my visa expires. So I am in the process of a renewal. So it's kind of the same process, but except for since I'm already in the system, it gets accepted a little bit faster. But unfortunately, I have to submit it after I get back from Hong Kong for World Championships with Team Canada. So from December to probably about April, May, I won't be able to come back to the country.
Wow.
And then outside of Canadian trials and stuff, like thinking back, beyond like your visa sort of application limbo period, did you ever like come back and, play and stuff like at home just for not old time's sake, but just because you wanted to, visiting family, any of that stuff?
It's more so just visiting family. There's not many big tournaments for 10-pin bowling in Canada, unfortunately. There's a lot of good youth stuff, like the like YBC provincials, for example. Like they have that in 10-pin, which they call the Ivan Nelson. Yeah, it's called the Ivan Nelson Provincial. So they have like their divisions, and then you get to compete on a team, in your age category. So I did that a lot as a youth, but since I've lived down here, I've only gone back to see my family, and then if I am in town and there's a league going on, I'll go sub in the league that I used to bowl in.
It's so funny. I'm sure people love seeing you rock up to league. They're like, oh, it's cool, but
yeah.
also he's gonna win some points.
They know that I'm probably gonna bowl well, and their team's probably not gonna make any points. They're like, oh, I know that's it. But it's pretty cool because like all of them still follow me. They always reach out when there's been some success, and sometimes they even ask me questions on drilling balls or lane play, or like if they have any questions, and because they were kind of like the big kind of support back home when I was trying to make it for a living. So
yeah, for sure.
I've always been wanting, like my mom kind of raised me that way to kind of never forget where you came from.
For sure. And did you have a favorite like 10-pin center that you liked bowling out of, like back home? Do you have favorite lanes? I mean, we can expand this to like anywhere too, but just in Canada, were there any lanes that you particularly like?
Canada. I wouldn't say there's really any favorite. I've had success in some lanes, but I wouldn't call it my favorite. I think my favorite place to bowl though was in Thailand, and it was on the seventh floor of a mall. Yeah, this mall was absolutely huge. And then like once you come out of the elevators, you kind of walk down this like VIP hall, and then you enter these sliding doors, and then boom, there's the bowling site, and you're like, holy cow, this is wild.
Awesome.
And then they kind of had like their own, like once you get past all the lanes, there was like this back alley where like it had curtains like for like to store your bowling ball, so kind of like its own private locker room. Like they treated us like royalty over there. It was incredible.
That's awesome.
That's insane. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of 5-pin bowlers have like favorite lanes, so it's just interesting to hear across different disciplines like what that looks like.
Yeah. Do you guys like bowling out of Alberta, or do you like going somewhere else to bowl?
There's a big variation in lanes when it comes to 5-pin. So
yeah.
I guess I do have one question. Do you guys still use the shield halfway down the lane?
Ooh, some centers do.
I haven't
played
shields in years. I haven't seen them in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember growing up, and that was a very big thing back then. So people would just like throw the ball 3/4 of the way down the lane.
Yeah, so there's a lot of centers that have switched from being wood lanes to being acrylic, so then they get rid of the lane guards because obviously they're obsolete.
Yeah.
But there's still some centers where it's like half wood and then like half acrylic. There's some that are still wood and they have lane guards. Some that are wood, they don't have lane guards, which is insane. It just like depends on where you're bowling, honestly. If there's anybody who's watching from 10-pin lane guards, like please Google them. They're the funniest thing ever. Like I was thinking,
it's the best when people hit them.
Oh,
yeah,
such a loud
they're so right out.
Scares you.
They're brutal. They are so loud. It's like a gunshot.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Another weird thing that I'm sure, lots of 10-pin folks would be like, this is so strange to me. It's obviously like string pins, whole controversial thing in 10-pin, but the fact that in Canada we have like convertible 5 and 10-pin string machines, which is very strange. And
it's becoming quite a big topic down here with 10-pin. A lot of proprietors are now going to string pin because of the cost. They haven't quite put it at a national level yet, but we have had tournaments where we have bowled on 10-pin string in a regional level.
What do you enjoy more?
So
The strings or no strings?
I mean, there's love on both sides. Like the no strings, I like because I'm a two-hander, so I can like send the pins kind of flying across the deck to hit the other pins that are standing, or what we call like a messenger.
Mhm.
With string pins, sometimes if they're not calibrated right, you can pick up some crazy splits that you would never pick up on a free fall. So that's kind of cool. So it's kind of love hate. They're learning the calibrations right now. So I'm sure once they get it properly, the pins won't fly as bad. But yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of way to make them not fly. We just haven't seen
Yeah.
it really yet.
So when you were bowling 5-pin, and I know like 20 years ago there was way more free fall bowling centers for 5-pin in Ontario. Did you have a chance to bowl free fall versus like string? Because obviously our transition was like ages ago to string
Yeah.
pins, but did you have a chance to bowl on both when you were bowling 5-pin? Or
No,
do you
I'm
remember?
not. I don't think so. Like I bowled, like I'm trying to think of the bowling centers I bowled at. Like, so Barry, I bowled at, which I think they had strings. Springwater had strings. Bayshore Lanes in Midland, I think they had strings.
Yeah.
There was another bowling center I bowled at on a military base in Ontario. I think they had strings, but
In
they also had
Trenton?
this.
Yeah.
I think they had the shield. I'm not sure. Uh, O'Connor Bowl might have had strings. You guys would probably know better than I would if O'Connor did. Those are kind of just like the centers I remember. I don't
Yeah.
remember really the other ones all that much, but I don't really remember bowling on free fall. It would have been cool.
Yeah, it is really, really cool and fun to bowl on. That's what I grew up playing on, and then our bowling alley burnt down. And I had to
Oh,
switch to the
no.
other bowling alley, which is string pin, but like it's kind of crazy. I remember they had this like special prize where one of the like pins was painted orange, and if you got a strike with the head pin being orange, like you won a prize. It was like you won a prize.
Oh,
or
okay, that's
something,
kind of cool.
which like incentivized for the children. I don't think it was for the adults as well, but like one of those things you remember. We have a
with the free.
question.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry, here.
That's a very interesting question.
It is. It's just from John Cowan, who I know dabbles in 10-pin as well. So do you think strings will level the gap between one and two-handers?
I think once they figure out the calibration, I definitely think it'll bring the level a lot closer. Obviously, power and rev rate do come into play. I haven't been able to really bowl much on string to see how significant the difference is. I will say that accuracy becomes a little bit more vital on how you utilize the head pin in striking with strings, because you don't really get those crazy off hits where like the pins might roll and keep rolling if you get a slow rack or whatever. The strings kind of have the tension and they can kind of only go so far because of that tension. So I think it's going to make it a little bit closer. I still do believe that the two-handers will have a slight advantage, but the one-handers do rely on more accuracy than the two-handers, so I think that'll come into play a little bit.
Yeah, very interesting. Another question for you. Sorry, Ashton. I'll go
with
first.
mine. We were talking about favorite alleys earlier. I want to know, out of all the PBA bowlers you faced, which what one's your favorite opponent, toughest opponent, and or like which one do you look forward to facing the most?
The ones that I like facing the most are probably my friends, just because we have a lot of fun doing it together. We're out here living our dreams. So like at the end of the day, it's not gonna like affect our mood if we win or lose.
Right.
Because obviously we're still cheering for each other, even while we're bowling together. The hardest opponent, I mean, right now it's got to be EJ. The guy just never ever makes a mistake. Fortunate enough this year that I got to beat him 3-0 to make a TV show, so that was pretty cool. and then ultimately, with the rule or like how they structured the format for the World Series of Bowling is the highest losing seed becomes the fifth seed for the telecast. So that happened to be EJ, who I beat 3-0 to make the show. And then EJ wins the first match, and then I bowl him on TV, and then he beats me. So
Yeah.
he's just one of those competitors where he just never gives you a mistake, or he gives you room to take advantage of. He's just a super hard competitor. He's fierce. He knows how to get the job done in super high pressure moments. And yeah, I mean, I do enjoy bowling him because he always kind of, any bowler that you bowl that's probably better than you brings the best out of you, right? So it makes you lock in a little bit more, makes you focus, and and sometimes you can even learn from watching them, how's their attitude, when they throw a bad shot, and EJ, like, his emotions stay very even keeled most of the time. So he knows when to amp it up, and he knows when to stay pretty level. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always makes me wonder, like, because obviously, like, this year EJ was on so many like telecasts and so
it's
consistent
incredible.
and just like and dialed in, but it like makes me think about like if someone could dedicate that much time to 5-pin and get like the equivalent of that talent, what kind of tear they could go on.
Oh God,
Adam
I could
Butler,
only
Tyler.
God, I could
We
only
got a few
imagine.
examples.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have a few
I
examples,
think-
Christian.
I think
You're gonna
there's
get
a higher
roasted for that.
no, but like surely there's a higher skill ceiling than that. Like there's always a next level. Like
But you think
Yeah,
about
always
some
get
of the
better.
like the older generation though, like you think about like Bruce Mortar, like Frank Levine, all of those guys from like
Oh,
the
yeah.
80s and 90s that were just like unbeatable essentially, right? They even think about like Gino and everything that he won in the 80s and 90s, and the fact that, he made the cut at Beef Bowl last year. He was on an open team this past year. Like there's so much talent out there, and I think it's just
Yeah, like EJ,
Okay.
is like, if you guys, I don't know if you guys watch golf or at all, but like EJ is
yeah.
literally the Scotty Scheffler right now. Like
yeah.
we all know,
Yeah.
like when he's at an event, we're like, all right, we might be bowling for second right now.
Yeah.
Because like if you see his name up on the leaderboard, you're like, uh-oh, like we better get to striking because he's not going to let up at all.
but it's also like really neat to see. Like I even find like when I'm at tournaments and you just see somebody who's so locked in and like
Yeah.
loaded that there's nothing that can phase them. It's just like so mesmerizing to watch and just like oddly satisfying because you just sit there in awe and you're like, this is crazy. Like
Yeah, they have their routine, they have their process, and they just stick to it. Like they don't let any other outside distractions bother them. They rely on the routine and process, and that's kind of my takeaways of watching EJ is he knows how to keep staying in that regimen every shot, no matter what. Like no matter what the
Mhm.
distraction is. So like those are my kind of takeaways of him, and like. And it's kind of helped make me a better bowler too. Is just being more accountable and trusting your own process and routine. And once you kind of figure that out, there's no like second guessing. Like do I change balls here? Do I make this move? Like where sometimes in the past, like I'm like I'm kind of unsure. Like do I? And then like 4 frames later, you're like, yep, should have done that.
Yeah, it's one of the
Yeah,
best
for
thing
sure.
about bowling for sure. Just watching somebody go on a tear.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but I mean, as a professional, at that level, like I would love to be on top at some point. I'd like to
Yeah.
not see EJ's name up there all the time.
Ours is a
Yeah,
little bit
for
different. It's definitely tougher for us to compete with some of the top 5-pin bowlers. So
Okay,
watching's definitely
is that just because like you can't get into those tournaments, or you just like what's the
People
Not
are
at
just
that level
so
yet.
people are just so dominant. Yeah.
yeah.
You guys are
Okay,
yeah.
We're just out of
We're
YBC.
also young.
We I mean Christian's going through a big arm injury right now. Hopefully he'll be back. I've not had the best couple of years, so
okay,
yeah.
all right.
And then I just came back as well. But I mean, I think about like even like Mark Johnstone going on his tear like in the
Yeah.
finals last year at the Regina Classic, and like so Zach,
unheard
for
of.
you, obviously perfect games like in 5-pin are way more rare because it's
Oh,
a
way more.
450 and
Yeah,
it's just
way
tougher.
more rare. Yeah.
So anytime there's a PG attempt, like it always like goes live on Facebook. So I remember logging in and it was like Mark Johnstone perfect game attempt, like first game of the finals, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like watch it. He didn't get it. And then like 20 minutes later, I log in again and it's like Mark Johnstone perfect game attempt, and I was like,
The
oh, I already
front-
saw this. I'm like, no, wait,
Yeah.
it's the second perfect game attempt, like 2 games in a
Jesus.
row
The
or whatever
front
it
11
was.
twice.
That's
Yeah, like it's
that's kind of
insane.
unheard of. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
quite. I mean, that's almost record breaking. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Like I can't imagine being there and watching that.
oh yeah. I mean, I don't know of many people that have a perfect game in 5 because they're so rare.
Yeah.
I think the only person I know of is my grand. Like my grandma has one, and
That's so cool.
and
yeah.
that might be the only person I kind of know. Like sometimes I see like scrolling reels or whatever. Like I see people attempting to go for a perfect game. Some do get it, some don't, but I don't really know them. But yeah, it's very very far and in between with
Yeah.
getting a 450. Like
Yeah.
have
was
you
gonna say, I
guys ever
know,
been
obviously-
that close, or do you guys have one at all?
I've had 11 in a row, but
No,
the back I missed
I've
the
had
first
8,
frame, and then I
yeah.
went to 11.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So what,
My-
435,
420, yeah.
420?
And I had a
never been
417
close.
last year.
Hey, that's
It's a
that's
really
really
weird
good.
score.
Anything over 400 is pretty sick.
Yeah, anything over 4 is good. It was like my mom has her 450 game, but it's like from 45
Nice.
years ago or whatever. But
Hey,
it's absolutely a
you
machine.
can't take it away.
but,
Can't take it away.
yeah. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to see like quite a few in person, which is always really like special because it's just like you don't want to stop and watch and like have it be like you can hear a pin drop in there, but like you can't help but do that.
Everyone just.
I remember one of them-
It is
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. It was like when I first moved to Calgary, I think it was like my second week of like the league that I joined here, and someone like Anthony threw his perfect game, and I was like,
That's sick.
where am I living? That this is insane.
Yeah.
That this is the level of bowling that I just like have in my cash league. So
No,
yeah.
that's super cool. That's super cool.
Yeah. Totally like unrelated question for you.
Yeah.
When you're bowling a competition, obviously like re-racks, you only have a certain number of them like in a game.
Mhm.
That's crazy because we can reset as many times as we want.
Yep.
And I know Christian and Ashton can definitely relate to this. Like sometimes you're on a bad set and you know, like, oh, the 3-pin is always gonna miss
It's
set,
so
or the
annoying.
head pin's always gonna miss set. And like we can do as many as we want. Zach is moving right now.
Yeah. So we're leaving the game right now, but I'm staying on the podcast, so don't worry.
Okay,
Awesome.
amazing. So yeah, you guys have limitations on re-racking?
1 second. What?
One
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting asked like 5 foot.
All good.
There was a ball giveaway, so they were wondering if I wanted to give a ball away, so I did.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, we're only allowed 2 re-racks per game, and then if we want a third one, we have to ask the tournament director if it's suitable. So like if a pin is off, like it has to be significantly off spot to really grant the third one.
That's
which
so
is-
crazy. Like, can you?
Yeah, sometimes it's a little unfortunate because like there are some bad bowling racks that I've bowled on, and and like bowling itself, even in 5-pin and just like 10-pin, there's deflection that happens. So a 10-pin bowling ball that's deflecting, like if you like, I can get a little bit more scientific where like the bowling ball itself in 10-pin only hits 4 pins, the rest is all deflection.
Mhm.
So when you start getting those 4 pins a little off spot, the deflection could be, not in your favor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you
But-
think that re-rack rule is for time saving, or because in 5-pin we have a lot of people who re-racking is just part of their routine, even if the rack's
Mhm.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
People just do it as
100%,
part
yeah.
of their routine to slow them down and just keep them in tempo.
Yeah, I know we use our re-racks mainly towards like, if we're on a string of strikes, sometimes your routine can get a little bit faster, or you
Mhm.
just kind of get up there without doing a routine. And then like you're like, oh, okay, like I didn't do any of that. So I'm going to take the re-rack just to kind of slow the emotions down. some people do it like you might see it on TV sometimes where people do it to kind of just ice their opponent and just let them sit there to think about what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strategy.
I don't know if it's because it's a time thing or not. I just think that was just one of the rules they made in bowling for us.
Fair.
I'm just imagining that rule in 5-pin. Like it would be insane.
Yeah.
People would go
Yeah, it would
nuts.
be.
Like-
I mean, it would be it would be interesting. That'd be for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure
because
it would.
sometimes you have like really, really bad sets, and it's usually on like specific lanes. So you'll just be like, wow, on lane 16, I'm always going to have the 3-pin. The left 3-pin's going to be off.
Oh yeah, and then you might have to hit. If you like hitting the right side of the head pin, then you might have to aim for the left side, and that's. I know for me, like I always like throwing it back up and like hitting the left side of the
Yeah.
Of the head pin. So like if I saw the 3-pin in a bad spot, I'd probably take the re-rack, or if I couldn't, like I would be like, like I'm not used to throwing it back up to the right side of this head pin.
Yeah, let's go to the right pocket now, across the head pin.
All
Like,
right.
let's make things a little bit more difficult for ourselves. Yeah. Yeah. Ashton, Christian, any sort of questions as we wrap things up here?
Um,
Actually, you'll go. I'll let you
go ahead,
first.
Christian. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So, like, what do you think takes more skill, 5-pin or 10-pin? Like, at the end of the day, because like, I feel like when like people talk about 10-pin being easier, it's like, well, like if you're on like a house shot and you have a good look, it's just going to be strikes. Whereas like, you guys go out on tour and throw scores that I could throw on a house pattern or whatever at some points. So. How
No,
much of a difference?
you've definitely hit the nail on the coffin. Like if it's a house shot, then really it's very probably similar. I do think that the elements of bowling and 10-pin, there's so many, and it just makes it that much harder. Like I like the bowling ball, like the different cores and the different covers of how they hook. The
Yeah.
the like we talked about earlier, the oil of the lane. The different viscosities. There's different types of oil and how fast they evaporate. The lane surface itself, there's multiple different lane surfaces that are higher friction, lower friction. And yeah, like there's just so many different elements to the game, and then like you have to think each ball that is going down the lane is moving that oil. So it's taking oil from the front part of the lane and moving it, it could be taken off from the front part, the middle part, and then moving that oil down lane. And then knowing oil is invisible, you can't really see it. So you have to like really train your eyes to see like, okay, this is happening, and then make the proper adjustment. So it's a lot of like experience and getting your butt kicked and like getting back in the lab, and because it's hard to mimic those types of transitions with the oil, because you don't always get the same bowlers throwing the same shots all the time. So the oil is constantly moving in a different way every time you bowl. So you kind of look for similarities in that aspect where, I'm not saying 5-pin's easy by any means, but if you got pretty decent form and can throw it pretty straight, you can utilize both sides of the head pin and still strike. Where 10-pin, like you have to navigate that oil pattern that's different length. The ratios could be different. The oil per board could be different. On top of bowling balls that look differently with different layouts. Like there's just so many more elements
more
added to the
variables, right?
game. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I jokingly told somebody when I was out east competing like a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, I made my ball change when the lanes were in transition, even though it's like, that's not a thing. I was like, I just made a ball change because I was throwing it kind of flat. But it's because it's not really a thing that we experience, right? Because we have so little oil on the lanes with 5-pin, and all those variables, they're still there, and there's differences from set to set and different types of balls, but it's honestly a totally different game. like 5 pin
Correct. But
versus 10 pin
my
at the end of
mom
the
did
day.
just text me. She did tell me there was a bowler from 5 pin that bowled a perfect game, and his name was Ron Combs or Coombs. I don't know if you guys know him or
Oh,
not.
Coombs, yeah.
She just
Coombs.
messaged me because my parents were very big into 5 pin. Like that's how we grew up. So
Yeah,
they kind of
yeah,
know
for sure.
more of the
Can relate to
bowlers that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, you guys like they could probably, throw names to you guys that you guys would recognize immediately.
yeah, of course. Ashton, you had a question as well?
Kind of forgot.
It's what's just
Sorry.
one of
So
those
focused
nights
on
for you,
listening.
Ashton.
It's fascinating
Yeah.
listening to a PBA bowler talk about 5 pin. But
It's unique, isn't it?
I guess within the next or when for PBA, is there really like a start and end to the season, or is it all just kind of all year round?
Boy, do we wish it went all year round, but unfortunately it doesn't. It tour usually starts anywhere from mid-January and roughly goes to if you make most of the final stuff, like the playoffs and the tour finals, then you get to bowl basically into late May. After that, it's fend for yourself. Like you go find tournaments that you're allowed to bowl in because some tournament directors don't allow pros to bowl in it.
Mhm.
So we kind of create our schedule based off of that. But there's plenty of tournaments for us to bowl each year. Like, I mean, my whole August was full every weekend. My entire September, every weekend is full. And kind of took October off. Like I got one event in October, but then November's full as well. So like, there's always stuff to bowl.
Well, then I guess
Yeah.
with the tour season coming up this year or next year, do you have any goals or expectations for yourself going into it, or what's that?
Yeah, I just have one goal, and that is to win. That's plain and simple. I don't
Awesome.
sugarcoat stuff. I've been close too many times, and now that I've
Mhm.
got a taste of more winning this year, it's I'm just ready to really break out on tour and make a name for myself.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
rooting for you.
Wow, thank you
Yeah,
guys.
definitely.
I mean,
Have the 5 pin community behind you.
yeah, no, I appreciate that because like every like now that I follow you guys, on Instagram and on Facebook, like it's funny how many more reels I have now of 5 pin stuff.
A lot of them are mine. I apologize.
Hey,
Maria
that's
makes up like
that's
90%
okay. I
of
mean,
5 pin.
I appreciate all kinds of different types of bullying, and some days I do miss it because like that's kind of what I grew up doing, and it was
It's nostalgic in a way.
like I fell in love with that game.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to come bowl a 5 pin tournament, I recommend the Beef Bowl. It's obviously you're not coming next weekend, but if you don't make the cut, you can bowl the Consolation, which is 10 pin.
Oh, even better.
So I got to play that
Perfect.
last year, which was hilarious. And there's a couple guys, have their own balls and stuff, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, so could maybe not make the cut, but could win 10 pin Consolation
All
and
right,
get
well,
to
if I'm
ride a
ever-
cow because there's cows in the parking lot.
Cows. Okay, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I've ridden an elephant before, but not a cow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great tournament though.
But
So, could add that to your schedule.
Are you
for next year.
guys all from like the same area, like Edmonton area?
I'm from Calgary, but they're
Okay.
from Edmonton.
Christian and I
Okay.
are
Yeah.
from Edmonton. Yeah.
All right. Well, if I'm ever in Alberta, I will message you guys, and then we can do both. Okay. I'll
That'd
make
be
Hell
sure.
yeah.
I'll make sure to get some 10-pin bowling balls shipped there, and then we can drill them to your guys' hand, and then we can all go
Oh,
out and
hell
bowl
yeah.
and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
That'd be
I was gonna
sick.
say
Amazing.
I'm crazy because before my 5 pin tournament out east 2 weeks ago, I went and bowled 13 games of 10 pin the weekend before, and then didn't bowl 5 pin until I went. It was because a friend was in
Jesus.
town and she wanted to try out the 3 centers, and we went, and I was like, this is fun.
Mhm.
Did it impact my 5 pin game? Yes. And should I have practiced before I went away? Yes. But it is what it is. And
Oh
it's so
yeah,
fun,
it's
so,
two different. Like I mean, just the weight alone
Yeah.
can really mess with you.
yeah. No. Well, with that, Zach, thank you so much for taking some time and giving us some ball game updates. We really appreciate your insights on 10-pin, 5-pin, all things bowling and competition. Wish you the best of luck this year, and I'm sure you'll see more of our content, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Over the next
I look
little bit
forward
here.
to it, guys. I look forward to following your guys' journey as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much
Thanks
for
so
joining
much.
us today. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
you're
really
welcome,
fun.
Awesome.
guys. Have a great night.
Great. Thanks so much.
You
Thanks so
too.
much, Zach.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right.
Awesome.
There.
Well,
that was Zach Wilkins.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
awesome.
From the YBC ranks in 5-pin to bowling on the PBA tour in the US.
The highest
Zach
level
certainly
of
had
bowling.
in like 2 different disciplines, which is so
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next month, Ashton talking about planning things in advance.
Yeah.
And that this thing has been planned for a while. Next month, we're going to have some more special guests coming
Yeah.
on. Do you want to give a little teaser about
Just
not who, but like what
Yeah.
what we're doing?
Bowling.
So,
Or no?
yeah, bowling podcast.
We're talking about
What?
bowling podcast.
So-
Wild.
I mean, so we have the 10-pin covered now, but imagine if we were able to have multiple guests from multiple different disciplines of the sport all talk about like their stuff. Like,
Yeah, who compete at the highest level. So
yeah,
little sneak peek for next month, and lots of excitement
yeah,
coming up
We
for
are-
the Frames of Shame podcast.
we're really exploring like just bowling in general
We're
now,
cooking.
which is really cool. Yeah, we are cooking.
We are cooking, Ashton, Christian, and I.
Yes.
But yeah. Okay,
Well-
awesome. Well, I'll see you, Christian, at Beef Bowl. I'll see probably many of our viewers at Beef Bowl
Yeah.
as well. Ashton, we'll see you at Autumn Open, maybe?
Auto open, yeah.
TPC?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to see schedules. I will be at TPC, of course.
I will also
Auto
be
open.
at
I have to plan stuff. School just started for me. I got to see how the workload and all that is first, and then I'll get my shit figured out. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
I will
for
also, anybody driving up to Dawson Creek for South Peace Classic, I will be there playing that tournament too. So looking forward
Yeah,
to kind
lots
of
of-
seeing that community.
Yeah, lots of tournaments coming up. We have Beef Bowl, we have South Peace Classic at the end of September. Then we have the Autumn Open next month, second WCBT stop, and then we have TPC. We have Alberta Masters starting up. Like
Oh my gosh,
leagues are starting
everything.
up again. Five-pin league, like pro league is going to be starting like in the next few weeks here.
Yeah.
We have some like changes to the teams, all of that kind of stuff. You'll be seeing lots of me and hearing lots of me on those streams. So I
Yeah.
apologize in advance.
And most
But yeah,
importantly,
bowling is getting crazy. Most
importantly, my YBC coaching debut, Coach Christian, is in the house. Gonna
Yep.
bring
those
up
poor
all
kids.
Okay. I'm
You'll
gonna
be great,
starting,
Christian. You will be
I'm gonna be
great.
starting careers out there.
Yeah. Very
No,
excited
but-
to see that.
Looking forward to seeing what I can do like as coaching. I'm looking forward to just learning a lot, like just from that coaching side as
Yeah.
well.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
with that, we will sign off and see everybody, in person, probably sooner than next month, but
Yeah.
see everybody next month.
Like
for the...
like always, follow 5-Pin Universe, follow Frames of
Yep.
Shame, follow Maria on
Marmar
everything.
goals.
Marmar Bowls. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you everyone
Awesome.
for tuning in.
Yeah.
Great show.
And
Yeah,
last
thanks, guys.
this marks 1 year of Frames of Shame show.
That's true. That
We
is
missed
true.
a month.
So
but
exciting.
We missed 2
All
months, but
Alas,
it happens.
Yeah.
how she goes.
we've done it. All right.
See you
Peace
later.
out.
Peace out, guys.